Abbaboobo, Abbaboobo, Abbaboobo. It's good to see you all. Many aloha. Wherever you guys are. Namaste. Everybody's doing well. Never thought I'd see myself on this spiritual side of the spectrum. It's nice, though, to finally get away from religiosity and belief systems which are not my own. So with that said, I will get my microphone so you can hear me from over here. Is we're going to jump right into part 7, the Go Greenlight, part 7, End of All Evil. So this is a really exciting segment to what I'm doing, as this is a way to free yourselves from all evil. Don't forget to check out some of our moringa produce. This is some amazing spicy, nice little spice drink of tomato with moringa and some good stuff. Peppers. Red peppers. Oh man. Awesome. So you can read my post below. I did actually a correlation of how the Torah is related. As we said, Torah means law. We're talking about the law. But I show you how all the things we talk about in the Abbaboobo group, the belief of actual black sun, the inner earth, creating all things, aurora borealis being like the Shekinah glory, God giving His only begotten Son, the black sun giving the sun. So there's these correlations we see in in a real archaeological, real physical matrix form, and then we're given this Bible or a book, which they can run by and make money off highway robbery, practically, basically by selling us an idea of this God and these stories. Now, the harm is that right in front of us is the truth, and it's physical. We can go see God. We can go back to the Garden of Eden. So there's real aspects of the true story. So why are they telling us this other story? It's obvious to enslave our minds, keep us in church, keep us tithing, going to the synagogues, creating religion, and creating a system, which we created in this matrix demiurge. So this is now creating a cage within the matrix that Sophia, the black sun, has already created. When we go back to that light, Jesus, Ra, Horus, Heru, Thoth, when we go back to the light, we go through the tunnel, we go to the black hole. We look in the mirror and realize that black hole is us. We realize then, self-realization, we are God. Okay? We're all God, unitedly in this same matrix. So, that's just, that's how it all goes. All these different things we've heard, like ancestors got my back, and spirituality, all these different things are mere collusions of each other that are used as ways to promote whatever agenda it is that they're promoting. For instance, promoting yoga as a means to get you to go join and be a Buddhist, and follow Buddha, which Buddha would have been more like me. He wouldn't have had a following. So again, these are all belief systems. There's a real physical aspect of heaven. It is right here physically in this realm. We can discover it, find it, what have you. But I'm going to go into now the next part, because we're on the Go Greenlight 7. We had left off at violence and destruction, if anybody remembers. We are now on economics. So I'm going to just jump right in. Economics. This is for the Go Greenlight, ending of all evil. Hopefully we'll finish this. Well, we're over halfway done. Okay, so we are, oh man, I could probably, there we go. Alright, thank you for watching. Hit share, because this information is pertinent. So we talked about democracy the last segment. Make sure to watch part 6, part 5.5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All those parts are also significant. They are going viral. People are enjoying them, which is great, because this is intended to wake up the world and get us to awaken to our subconscious again. And this is one way of doing it, to get out of this matrix enslavement. Okay, so economics, speaking of enslavement, is the study of the trade of work and principles of money are scientific. And as if, with all the truths simple and easy to understand, government institutions have created artificial ideas such as employee, corporation, and dollar to enable them to control your labor. Their objective is to confuse you and make money complex so that they can make more easily take it from you. Okay, that's the whole diversion. To make it complicated so you don't understand it, so they can simply take your money away from you afterwards. I've had a lot of hard work, lost myself, 11 years, tons of videos, website taken down. I have literally, it feels like, and it could be at any workplace, but that's what they try to manifest, is anywhere you go, it literally feels like at the end of the day, it feels as if you wasted your precious life all those years. You could have been in the jungle, you could have been in the forest, making gardens and growing and really getting healthy and enjoying life and being grounded. You could have been in paradise, but all along you're working for some company, some corporation, and we feel it's somehow justifiable, and in no rights, no means is it. Every single occupation, every single career, every single subject matter you get yourself into, education-wise, going and getting a degree. I was at Harvard University, Cornell University, okay? It doesn't matter where you're at. It is all evil. It is a fraud. Even going to church and seminary, it's evil, okay? The only thing that is freedom, that is not evil, is freedom itself, which would mean to be free, to live off the land, to go back to the jungle. People say, Eric, but that's not for me. And see, that's how they'll justify a wing out of it and rationalize it. Well, you're making excuses. Boys make excuses, girls make excuses, and men and divine women and divine men make change. We have not evolved to this point to be some sort of cyborg robots, okay? We are not. The fact that I'm on this computer, this phone, this electronics device on it live, it's pathetic. This is my only means to communicate with you, to actually get this message across. People are looking down at their phones anymore. It's not like I could even have a conversation with half the world anyway and then actually interpret this message. But this message is needed and necessary right now. It was commonsensical logic to live off the land. The fact that we are gatherers, we are plant-based frugivores, we are to live off the land. We're supposed to thrive in Mother Earth. Oh, the Queen Aurora, as I mentioned in the detailed description below. Okay, so there should be no economics and there should be no work to take you away from your life. Your time is your money. You invest your time, which is your charitable giving, which is your love. So you invest your love, charity, into your work. And this is supposed to determine your worth. There is no set dollar amount of money, a dollar bill, or occupation, or life that determines the true human worth. That is impossible. Okay? If anything that I've said so far has upset you, or you feel you disagree, you, quite frankly, there's no two ways about this, are a victim and living an illusion, a delusional lie set in place by means to continue to keep you working and contributing to an enslavement matrix by which your subconscious self created. So, is there a way around this? Yes, there's a loophole. By connecting with yourself and listening to what I'm saying, then you can actually get yourself out of your own mess. This life, no doubt, is supposed to be about suffering and pain. That's what your work involved is. But however, no one wants to work for another company and all this stuff. It's like a bunch of rat race, a bunch of rats saying, oh, I want this job instead of that job. Ooh, I got this deal instead of that deal. Oh, you could save money here, or timeshare. Okay? It's all utter ridiculous. There's no better deal. There's no savings. There's no better value kit plan. There's no money, make money quick. There's no, oh, we're going to invest in your business. Hey, here's a better loan, lower interest rates. All this stuff is a bullshit lie to continue to keep you deeper down this hole, in a swamp, believing that you're free and that somehow money is going to make you freer, or that there's a better deal out there, that some chance you can get, or some coupon that you can obtain that's going to make your life a lot better. Okay, you're going to get a really good deal. No, all this is bullshit. You could be living off the land where your work is rewarded with produce, things you consume, which keeps you healthy, keeps you strong, vigilant, keeps your health, the optimum homeostasis of your family, your children, your wife, your kids, everybody, your offspring, and your aunts, uncles, nephews, grandpa, grandma, whoever. It keeps everybody thriving. You know how many people I work with that are struggling in these families, and grandma's going bad, and aunt has breast cancer, and this person has surgery. It's sick, it's sad, and that is a cause and effect due to our own disillusionment, mindless self-indulgence, by our own choice. We can say, no, I'm not going to buy this, or I'm not going to spend my hard-earned charitable giving into that. I'm going to save money, put it over here. I'm going to get the hell out of here. This hell is taking a toll on my body. Okay? That's what needs to go on. You're not going to get anything out of an education system or going to college. So you need to tell your children, just get the heck out of here. The smartest thing to do is get out of here. If you have to, say, Eric, I don't have any money, flee. Nobody has money. We are all slaves. There's hardly anybody out here who actually has money. Okay? The elite do. The people who are royal, those kids that are playing around, they got their boats and they're making it look like it's a good heyday out here, those people already are royals. They have money. They had wealth. They're rubbing it in our face, those who don't have it, to try to go and work harder to obtain things they have. You'll never exceed to their level, and in most cases they will create the system with the hyperinflation. For everything that you work for, it's going to fall right on your head. Okay? You're going to lose all of it. I've worked 11 years to build this business up. They've destroyed it. They've tore it down. And that's what this matrix does. Okay? It could be a book you wrote. It could be an organization. And if it's a really great idea and you got a patent or you've got a new invention, they'll just take your idea and they'll go propagate a lot of money off of it, or buy you off, or just bump you off, and you'll never see a penny. Okay? This is the reality of life that I'm telling you now. There are real people who actually have worked hard for inventions and building things to help better humanity and technology, lose it all and gain nothing. Someone like who everybody, and then we bow down to him, like the Tesla guy, whatever his name is, who's the Elon Musk, and then like Facebook Zuckerberg. These men are phonies who stole people's ideas and just marketed them. Okay, Elon Musk is no genius and not even remotely close to the genius of Tesla. So, regardless, it's a whole other topic, and it doesn't even matter. The main purpose and point I'm explaining is we bow down to these people who steal our ideas, make a mockery of our intelligence. Okay, Einstein was a crackpot, idiot, a fool. Tesla even said that. That's not my words. Stole ideas, never invented anything. So, and even if he did, there's nothing we should be inventing. There's nothing we should be doing. There is no such thing as laziness, okay? We should have been enjoying life, sustainable permaculture, urban gardens, and thriving. A very simple life. Gazing at the sun, grounding, barefoot, okay? These social norms and all this other crap was designed to keep people enslaved and make sure that people don't leave the enslavement. They have social peer pressure and scrutiny in order to devalue the individual's personal worth. So with that said, I'm going to jump right into work. See what this is about. Okay. So this is, we're on economic, and we're on work. And I didn't want this to be too long. We're going to try to finish this up this time. So everything you do to work in your life requires work in this life. It may be as simple as planting a seed or tending to the soil so that it will grow to be your food, like I just was saying. It may be washing the dishes so that you can eat from a clean plate. It may be climbing a hill so that you can slide down. You can do everything that you do to benefit yourself and those who you love. Okay, like I was just saying. Trade, though. You may not be good at building some of the things you want. You may not want to plant your own food, but trade allows you to do different kinds of work, but give that work to others to engage for work they provide you. It cannot build an integrated, circuit, but you can operate on a tumor. Then you can trade and help those people, a doctor and an engineer. Trades can be between 200 or 300 people, but at the end of the day, it is as simple as trading your work for someone else's work. You get to do what you are best at, but get to receive what others are best at. So really the only system that's ever actually worked, as I said before, has always throughout history, which is a much older system anyway, is bartering. There's no older system than bartering. So in other words, in this day and age, we absolutely have gotten lazy, okay? We've gotten lazy in this day and age. But then I said again, there is no such thing as laziness, because if you were thriving in the tropics, if we lived in paradise, where we're supposed to be, if we lived in righteousness, we would live off the land, live in peace, consume mangoes, dates, fruits, veggies, nuts, superfoods, and thrive. we'd gaze at the sun, we'd have no problems, no drama, there would be no sickness, no illness. You already know this equation. It works. It's the only system that works. It's perfect out in nature, it's heaven, whatever. So in talking about trade, trade is the only system that's worked. The work that you do for yourself isn't work at all, it's living. But when you work 9 to 5, you go to these jobs, you're going to school so you can obtain money, so you can have a family, provide for your children, the welfare of your life, that is enslavement. You don't want to work, you don't want to go to school. It is all part of the matrix demiurge to keep you believing that and restlessly confused and spun out. So this system is about to be destroyed. We're at the end of the road, end of all evil. It's about to occur, the Great Reset. This is why I tell people, quit wasting your time. Do not enlist your children in college. Don't do it. Don't believe things are going to get better, this hope, this brighter light at the end of the tunnel, whatever. That's for when you die. You're going to go up to the sun source, infinite source, and you're going to go through the tunnel of light, and you're going to get to the black sun. Now the reality is that we are not going to see any program today actually work. You're not going to see your kids, the economy. It's not going to get better. Hyperinflation. I'm as positive as you can get. In fact, 10 years ago when I started my first business, Plott Palm Trees, I was the spunky guy. Had my beard shaved. I had, was just glistering, glowing with my short hair and very hopeful of the American dream. We're going to sell palm trees and we're going to change the Midwest and change this world for the better. I'll tell you what, it wasn't very long until I realized the economy is not going to allow a young man at 19 in his parents' basement growing palm trees to be successful and carry out an American dream. I hate to say it, y'all. This is not the time. This is a guerrilla warfare. This is the time when shit's getting bad, but the system makes it all look good. The TV's programmed to make it you programmed to think everything by the illusion of things looks fine. It's magic. Semantics is magic. They use words. Hey, want to loan a grant for your business? Startup loan, startup grant. You can get $250,000. I did that. I lost $7,500. Hard-earned money that took me forever to save, and a broker that ripped me off. A banker. Okay? I never see that money again. It really leaves a disheartening taste in your mouth when you work hard and you get constantly thrown down the stairs for telling the truth. This is how the last 11 years of my life have been. Finally to realize the only solution, as I've built a network and I've built a platform of communication to people in the world, that I finally realize and say, you know what? I'm sick of it. I'm done. I'm angry, and I am not going to take it anymore. Kind of like that guy off of Network. He says, I want you to go to the window and stick your head out the window and say, I'm angry, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Whatever it was a really funny movie. But it's true. It's so true. It'll blow your mind. Look up Network movie, best scene ever. It's hilarious. That whole movie's funny. Network, and regardless, what I'm getting at is I'm trying to help you. The best solution of all these years is I built a network, made plenty of sales. They'd say, Eric, was that your purpose? So my subconscious was already doing all this stuff, and which I look at now, I'm like, wow, that is genius. I didn't plan this because I've always gone with the flow, which has always been the right thing for me to do. Everybody's always told me what to do and told me the wrong things to do, because they'd say, Eric, you need to do it this way, that way, which would have maybe gotten me money in this matrix. So they've always been these Masonic whatevers to give you the right push, because there's a number system that basically has us enslaved, and in this number system that is your language, by the way, you can do things to kind of offset it, and it's a control mechanism. So you can take certain paths and you will be successful. You go down this path, you open that door. So it's a bunch of keys, and it's basically because of these numbers, right? And some people say geometry, some people say numerology. The thing about it is, in nature, there's a perfect universal number system, God numbers, but you don't need to focus on numbers, you don't need to focus on words. Let's go back to when we were cavemen, cave women, and almost don't even have language. Just be. Enjoy life. Right? Oh, we can't. I forgot. They want us slaving. They want us doing something proactive. Go, go, go. Okay, no. Clean the house. Clean the house. We shouldn't even be in these houses. I have no problem sleeping outside. Even when it was raining, I put a towel over my head. It was an incredible experience. You have all these negative ions that fall on your body. It feels magical. There's so much you're missing out on when you're not barefoot outside gazing and living life. That's life. They've disconnected us and made us in a sterilized position where we are cut off from this umbilical cord of nature, this connection to Mother Earth. And what happens is we become these superficial, artificial, intelligent beings that are soulless. Many of them are already soulless who created the system. You don't want to become soulless if you don't have to. I'm telling you, you can enter the kingdom of heaven now, go back to Shambhala. This is in the inner earth. The closer you get to Mother Earth, nature, you get into the inner earth, you become happy. It's your subconscious. So, regardless, like I said, in this 11 years, I've lost all of my work that I've worked 11 years for, 800 videos, 233 Vimeo videos. It really puts you in a depressive state. Just as depressed as when that woman took $7,500 from me. Debbie McNutt from Premium Funding, don't use her. People like that, the evils of the world, that take advantage of good people, the small guy, the small potatoes in business, the family-run business. You know, we're the companies that people should be supporting. People, oh no, but you go to Walmart and support them. See, it's literally the end of the world for all small businesses and things like that. You're moving into a new world order, corporate, Orwellian, totalitarian network. I'm telling you right now, folks, I don't care where you live, this is the time to get the fuck out of this country. Okay, excuse my French, but I mean it passionately. This is the time. If you can't afford it, get in a boat, get your car, get your belongings, sell everything. Get out of here. This is not where you want to be, okay? Not right now, especially. Go down to Mexico, somewhere towards the the equator, where it's tropical, year-round. Fruits, veggies, and nuts. Your skin, it's gonna purify. It's gonna get better. Your pineal gland, your life, everything. If you're in this life, you deserve the best now. Experience peace in heaven, paradise on earth, right this second. And I mean, even if you go down there, squat off the land, get your seeds. If you got to save up for a year or 2 years, go to Sonic or Hardee's and get a slave job. Get money enough to get down there. It's a $300 ticket. Get a passport. I'm telling you, this should be your goal. This should be your college degree. Not going to college. Not getting a degree. It is not going to help you. This system is plunging. It is going down. It's not going back up, and I don't care what people think about with Trump, draining the swamps, whatever. It's not going to happen. It's impossible. We're in a matured economy. It's not going to get better. So, I'm not trying to bring doom and gloom or discourage anybody who is going to college or working a job or whatever. What I'm saying is get your savings, pull out, because we're in a current mess of our time. Okay? It's not, oh, when the shit hits the ceiling fan. No, motherfucker. Wake up. The shit hit the ceiling fan like back in 2001, okay? I mean, if you want to get technical, GMO food and tomatoes and soy, it's been here since 1991, 1992, okay? That's when you should have got your money out. And I had money back then too, a lot more than Bitcoins. The only hope this country has is cyber currency. That's why it is going to be successful. It has to be. So you better put all your hope and faith in the new cryptic currency religion, the Bible of Bitcoins, okay, because that's going to be your messianic help, safe, new world order cash, because the cash, the dollar, petrodollar, is destroyed. We're at the end of the road, and even if you want to say, oh, no, it's going to come back, or let's continue getting money, okay, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. If you have the mentality of the dollar, the petrodollar, then your ass is owned by China, okay? by China. All right? So yes, this is all absolute truth. What is up, my buddy Christian? Much love to you, brother. Alex. Dua, dua, dua. Ababola, ababola. Namasta. Yeah. It's gonna be all good. Your subconscious can connect and save you from all adversities. You will be fine. But what I'm telling you is, in the meantime, you don't need to be living this hell life. Go get you some food stamps. Go sign up for whatever programs. The hell with this job. Like I told everybody, Yahooism. Let's do it. Quit your day job. Quit paying your bills. Quit paying off your debt. Just stop it. And within 48 hours, the system will be shut down. And in 1 week, there will be irreversible damage to this corrupt, broken system. The only reason it's still up and rolling is because good people like you and me continue to wake up thinking we have to go to work and get a job and better our lives and what have you. Well, the real reality is that enslavement is the very thing keeping this broken system of systematic chaos alive and turning. We can get out of it, you know. And that's why I am doing this series. So, I want to get everybody together so we can all come together as people. But the Great Reset is about to occur. The Black Sun is about to come. And it's going to change all this. It's going to wash away the rain. Black old sun, won't you come? Okay, that is what's about to happen. 12/21/2019, potentially 333, which is 9. It could happen, right? We'll see. The Black Sun knows. God is the only one that knows, not even the Sun. Jesus knows the hour. No angels know the hour or time. Okay, well, when the Black Sun returns, all this shit's going to be removed. I've said this a million times. It's going to be a broken system. You don't understand. Man, when you see Mother Nature, Aurora Borealis, the green energy provide for you, it's incredible, man. It is so beautiful. You just grab mangoes off the trees, bananas, you eat some durian, soursop, all these superfoods. There's tens of thousands of plants you've never even heard of. You consume it to your delight, abundance, to you fill your belly with all that good life, and that is heaven on earth. Of course, when we die and go to the flip side, there's no such thing as death, because we all just go to the flip side, this next dimension, and inner earth, ascension, however you want to look at it. Some believe that we flow up into the spinning hole above. Some believe it'll be in the center of the earth. Either way, when this happens, and it's about to happen, we will all return to our infinite source and live forever, look in the mirror, and realize we are God. Will be this black hole. After the light through the tunnel to the black spinning hole, we are going to the source, and we will, in returning to Earth, heart is where the home is. If you rearrange Earth, it's heart, because when we activate this heart, we were going to have superpowers, which we already do have in many different senses, which I can get into, magically so. There is hope in this plasma cryptic energy. I call the cryptic energy, the bioplasmic irradiation between the sun, air, ether, and the black sun in the inner earth. When these combined, it creates this green plasmic energy, Aurora Borealis, the northern lights. Now, that life stream is going to correct all the problems in this earth. We have bad soil, the air, the water. Okay, it's going to be corrected. So anything that evil, it's funny, it's like evil has tried to destroy this planet as best as it can to try to really rip it away. But in the Matrix, so it's another sense, because we're creating it, Sophia the Black Sun, through us, is trying to almost commit suicide to see how much damage she can take until she blows herself up and causes this great reset, which is amazing if you think about it. So there's this static negative energy that's going on in the hearts and minds of many people, millions and millions who are committing suicide, depressed, anxiety, And it's because she created Saturn, the parasitic Saturn, and the Luna system, the moon, to be these parasitic entities that have created nightmares of hell for her or us to go through. Okay, so we're all going through suffering and pain right now, a purging, a purgatory. So we need to soak this up and realize pain is just suffering leaving the body. And it's a good thing, right? And I know there's a lot of brutal stories out there. Don't think I haven't experienced my own things of abuse. I'm sure you have. People have had psychological, mental, or even physical abuse. The rape, molestation out there. Now this with the human trafficking and children abuse in Lolita Island. That's just one little thing that, keep in mind, they allowed to get out. Okay, they wanted that to get out. I told 2 years ago, I made the curse that all truth would surface. I'm the reason all this truth is surfacing. You can go watch my videos from 2 years ago. I put all my energy and had no friends. I was a hermit for years. And I was putting all my energy into awakening the world as a truth movement conspiracy theorist at the time, was trying to awaken the ascension and enlightenment of all of humanity. And look, since then, there's been crazy amounts of things surfacing since 2018. I've been through hell since 2016, really focusing on all this, literally quitting jobs, and I noticed that this was my calling. The Black Sun has chosen me to do these things for humanity. That's why I'm like, I can't go to work and do this, because this is what my mission is. I'm supposed to be right here, right now, telling you this end of all evil and reading it, okay? You are a part of this, why you're here right now. It's like those movies you see, it's like, oh, it's the end of the world. It's like, it seems surreal, like we're in a movie. Okay, yes. In fact, if we shut off all the movies, man, we could all quit our day job and enslavement, and we actually could live a movie. Our life is a movie. See, they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to have value to your life. You are so valuable. Watch part 1 of the Go Greenlight Infinite Freedom End of All Evil segment. Part 1. This is 7. So part 1, and you'll see just how valuable you are. I talked about that this whole segment. I talked about how valuable you are, and how authority, law, or Torah, which is really magic, slave manual, spells, and hexes, okay? Law, authority, chivalry, following the law, being patted on the back for being a good citizen, patriotism. These words have us enslaved, but not only that, they're a curse, and they're making us sick, and they're the things that are devaluing our life. The thing it takes away from is principles. Principles are the absolute true truth. They are the golden nuggets, if you will, the pure essence of beauty and life that is found in nature, that is the ultimate source of true truth that authority will never have and law will never provide. The law enforcement, these are all things that are lies. And guess what? As a result of this, including democracy, it's all evil. The word evil, again, as we've said many times in this segment, means to take freedom away, to take freedom. So you're not free. If something is evil, it is trying to attempt to devalue or take your freedom. So let me continue as we are finally heading to the end of this series on this Go Greenlight Infinite, value. So you get to do what you want and what you're best at when you trade, okay, and you receive from others. But savings and debt allow people to perform trades without the restriction of time, right? When you work today, you redeem the trade work later. It's called savings. This is what I was telling y'all. When you redeem today and perform the traded work later, it's called debt. Both principles enable you to control your labor without being subjected to time. So debt equals death. We need to get out of this whole thing, right? So money, is money good? Yeah, it can be good. Money is the record of all savings and debt transactions. All it does is record what you owe. or what is owed to you. It can be carried symbolically as paper or coin, or as a line, item, or account booking. After you have performed some of your work in trade, you'll receive money to record the value of your work. Your work or your trade of work can be between any number of people and all redeemed at different times. The principle of money greatly enables people and frees them to work and receives the benefits on their own schedule. And what I've noticed is the lower educated or not as confident individuals are the ones who work really hard to build themselves all the way to the top, while the really highly intelligent people are either used, they steal their ideas and their inventions, and then they either bump them off or keep them enslaved. But when it comes to the real educated people who know what is going on, they don't have any money, and most of the time we have to work hard to make ends meet, all people. And that doesn't allow enough time for people to sit and think and figure out all this stuff, you know? They don't have the energy at the end of the day, 9 to 5, working and working. You just got to go to work. Go get the job done. You do this for 10 years, you wasted your life, you never lived, you never figured these things out, you know. And those who are homeless or poor or whatever, we're said, oh, I don't want to be like that person, I don't want to be homeless, and I don't want to not be penniless. But they're the ones who have it right, they're the ones who are happier, they're the ones who are healthier. So money, as I've said before, is the greatest curse on the planet Earth. It is. To have money, to have a lot of money, to have a lot of wealth. People say, Eric, you're crazy, I want a lot of money. Of course, everybody wants money, but you're trading out your third eye, which in the next realm is the most important thing. Money is not going to buy you into Shambhala, you know. If your heart is not as light as a feather, then how do you think you'll enter through Dayat to Shambhala, to Nirvana, to the heaven, which is within the kingdom, right? So it's all good stuff. I don't know about these sharks in this dog-eat-dog world that are raping and molesting and pillaging the land, stealing land and robbing it and killing it, Mother Earth, you know. I just don't see how they should be rewarded. That's why I created a matrix. If you watch my other video, I put a curse out there creating a new matrix where the people in this matrix who want to control the little guy and be a bully, treating us like dogs, these sharks in the jungle, this concrete jungle, I've made a matrix for after this world where they go, because they're going to be stuck in a static, okay? I've created a matrix for them where they're going to be turned into dogs, living for all eternity, and they're going to be treated the same way we are as dogs. They're going to be in a similar situation where they have to work for their bones, where they have to work for their dog food, okay? Because they all, the 33rd degree, the hierarchy, the royal elites, these people who are doing this, who aren't giving my $110 trillion to save this planet right now, because they know I have the solutions. They're not trying to give me the money to help save the poor, the people who are drug addicts and homeless on the streets and hurting in the system. They are the ones who are going to be turned into dogs. I've already put it out there. Smart be it. Abbaboobo, Abbaboobo, Abbaboobo. The black sun, baby. Abbaboobo. Allow it. Feel it. See it. Just visualize all those banks and all this system and all these fake phony roads. Visualize them being removed, swiped clean. These black comets come down and just make everything disappear. Not like an apocalypse, but like these black electromagnetic spinning ball orbs you see in the sky. They're just going to zap everything out because it's all light energy. It's all light energy anyway. If it's causing adversity and sadness and atrocities and pain, suffering, you can cry out for a great rift and cause a flood that will destroy this whole planet. Do you want to do that? You are God, okay? You can do that. And become your own God, goddess, however you want to look at it. We're all one. We're all part of each other. So, great. That matrix is going on while we all got sucked into our one white light source energy through the darkness. We get to create our own world. How great. So it's going to be so fun to see you on the flip side. I'm excited. Shambhala. It'll be a party. And these people who are partying up, living their kingdom now, they're going to have hell to pay. That sucks to be you. And here, I'm giving them one last opportunity. This is the last opportunity. As at the end of the road, this is when it gets really hard. Because it is, you're going to have more bills to pay. Things are going to get harder. They're going to take your house. They're going to take your car. You're going to quit your job. You got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, right? That's why the Great Reset's about to occur, okay? Because we're at the end of the road. That's why all these movies coming out, end of the road, end game, the externals, that movies coming out in 2020, all these things, right? It's because we're at the end of this time, the reset, you know? So that's exciting. There's a lot more good to come. So the evil, you got to look at it this way, is in... I think set up to really be, I don't know, economical kind of oppositions and different things, the constructs in your workplace. Is anybody working a job currently? Does anybody believe that the job they're at, do they really enjoy the job they're at? Do they love to work, or does work love them? Think about it. Which, like I said, if we all just quit our jobs, started to work together, we could live, like, look up the Ubuntu guy. He lives off the land. He created a sustainable permaculture. It's so easy, y'all. When we go out and live off the land, I got so many seeds now. I'm ready to build a tribe. We'll go do that. Create our own trade and bartering system. The only thing you need is water and food, really. You can live off the land down in Central America. You can live right outside. People be like, oh, I'm going to get bit up. That's your nature, is to be bit up. We want to go back to nature. We don't want to read a book about how to live off the land or walk around barefoot. You go and you just do it. Okay? Forget these computers and technology. Ethics is not kept up with technology anyways, right? So let's move on from all this crap. We don't need it. It reminds me of the song, we're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. Right? Are you sick of taking it? It's like they abuse us, they use us, they wanna, you know? So that's just how it is. You may not want to do these things, but at the end, you're trading, and it's simple as trading your work for someone else's work. So the barter system is what we're going to go back to, the Moringa Cryptic Kingdom. Oh, we are going to do this, Christian. Heck yeah, man. What I've got going on is already going to happen. So let's say, in reference to the Great Reset, okay? I know that's going to happen. We're going back to the Moringa Cryptic Kingdom. I've already crowned myself the king of the Moringa Cryptic Kingdom, and that doesn't mean anyone is going to bow down to me or that you follow me, anything like that. In fact, what I'm doing is I'm making everybody who makes it to the other side a king, a queen, their own god, their own goddess. That's what this is all about. I just have to declare myself, and you can declare yourself the Night King God of the underworld. It doesn't matter what, which is interesting now, you hear that underworld, and they always make it like it's dark and evil, or Shiloh, Hades, the dark underworld. Well, that was heaven. It's crazy, but the Jews that believe the flat earth plane in the center is Shiloh, where both righteous and unrighteous people will go. And some would call it limbo. So there's that aspect of it. We're going to definitely take this to a whole other world where money is basically, you know, the essence of our work. Moringa, um, we are. It's gonna be all in peace. It's just like this world, but it's a different world. It's flipped. It is so beautiful. When you're there, it is so perfect. There's just nothing wrong. It's like everything goes good. It really, when I've been there, and when I come back here, I realize what hell this place truly is. It has a balance. It's very neutral here because you can have good days, you can have bad days, but essentially it's like nothing goes right all of the time, and it could absolutely. Um, it's constantly like you're accepting third or fourth best. In some cases, you're accepting the worst in this country. So, um, you know, that's how that works. So I've left off here economical, uh, and yeah, dragons in the inner earth. Their essence enters into this realm as dragonflies to tell you you're on the right path. By the way, economic control. There are people who wish to use your work for their purpose without providing anything in return. Do you believe that? The objective economic control is to control as much of your labor as possible. That is what is going on. So how do they do this? They do it with tax. That's what I was getting at. There is an extra party of most economic trades that take place on this earth. They offer no benefit to either party, and they do not allow you to choose whether or not to include them in the trade. So usury, it's evil. Tax is evil. A tax is when someone takes money that does not belong to them. Taxes are law and not principle because they destroy freedom and must be enforced. Some of the people who tax are common thieves, while others are powerful governments. So imagine that. And they do this through one aspect, and this is not going to happen in the other world, okay, the kingdom, okay? They do this through extortion and usury. The corruption of economics is called extortion. So when you labor, but someone else redeems your work without your permission, it's a tax. A tax, to tax someone is to steal from them a portion of their work, or all of it. Under taxation, you work but gain nothing in return. Even when the claim is made that money will be spent for your benefit, you cannot choose what your work will buy. Under taxation, the extortionist is the master and you are the slave. Failure to pay is penalized by imprisonment or death. Okay? Sucks. Taxation is it's comes in many forms. The simplest is to steal your money without you ever realizing it. We call this theft, and it is practiced by common criminals. The more popular, and is vastly more profitable form of taxation is to take a portion of your work when you produce it, okay? When you trade it and when you save it. This is the form which is practiced by governments and mafias. There is another form that is incredibly devious and difficult for people to see. The restriction of behaviors to compel you to do something that authority wants is taxation. Using this method, they never have to bother with money. They simply compel you to do their bidding directly. This form of taxation is called by many, many names. Some of them are price controls, regulation. What's the other one? It's the bureaucracy is one. Red tape, paperwork, formalities, and it's oversight, Social Security. That's a big one. public works and public good, right? Be a volunteer. Like I was in Tennessee, which was the volunteer state, right? Be a good slave, volunteer, right? I'm going to tell you right now, America, they owe each one of us over $1 million. Your body is worth probably $100 million. It's invaluable. They are supposed to give us a water system in this country. We never got. Did you get a water system? No. We're American corporate water system. We're supposed to be given a water system. There's just endless. The reason they don't want us rich or having all this money, everybody won the lottery, was rewarded $1 million, because then you wouldn't be a slave now, would you? You wouldn't have to go to work, okay? That's the pathetic part. But work for what? A big company, a big corporation, a big computer software company? We don't need all this technology. Throw the technology away. Ethics, moral standards is not kept up with technology. It's obvious. It's just by me doing these segments, it is part of the awakening. I gotta say that much. It is what I'm supposed to do. I have you closer to me here. Got to see what's going on. That is true, man. Oh, look, that's perfect. Cool. You know what? I actually want to take a little break and do some Moringa K. Y'all don't know. This drink really makes you feel good. It's euphoric. And see, that's the other thing. I got these seeds. You know, that's what I want us to do, Christian. We need to get some seeds. We're going to go and we're going to live off the land. I don't know if you can hear me. We're going to live off the land. We got property down in Central America. So we're all going to meet up, Christian. We are going to meet up, Christian, and we are going to make sure that everybody is healthy. And people say, oh, but Eric, there's going to be wars and there's going to be the same stuff. How do you know that's not going to happen? And fights and stuff like that. No, that shit did not happen. We're going back to the Garden of Eden. When you're healthy, see, this is why I can't say all people's hearts are evil. No, every man's heart is content, is good, is peaceful, is peace-loving, man. We would all get along, okay? The reason is people are enslaved, they're impoverished, they're indigent, they're sick, therefore. But if we, consumed, like I said, I got this bag of moringa over here. This is what I sell. I sell this moringa green powder. This would heal all lands. People wouldn't be sick. People would be healthy. There would be no reason to start war. Nobody would say, oh, I'm going to pick on that person. I want to steal their land, whatever. No. We would be brothers, I've already seen it, man. People, and it would be kind of like, people don't want to hear this, it's kind of like, it's going to happen either way. We're not going to have clothes. If you're talking about in the physical sense, it's a giant nudist community like Garden of Eden in one aspect. But if you're talking about in the spiritual aspect, we'll just be back to our source of being a spiritual being, which is really amazing. So, at this point, any system would work better, than what we got here. Which, obvious. This is some of that powder. And then moringa with kratom. This is one of my own alchemical formulations here. You see this dead sea salt. Yeah, that is a actual dead sea salt crystal. You can taste it. That's what you see of the Dead Sea. Huge rocks of salt, minerals. And I made ormus by putting one of these from this over here. You'll see a pyramid. I put the pyramid in the one, and it caused the caused it to crystallize on the pyramid, and I gathered it and made some ormus, which you may have heard of. Ormus? I don't know. And then, something to get really electrical is key lime. If you want your magic power to be really enhanced, key lime. Key lime, when squeezed, don't use sugar, because the key lime is the most alkaline-rich fruit, one of the highest. Okay, and what that causes is your pH to increase. I've taken key lime or two at a time, went outside, grounded, and I'm telling you, I felt electricity coming off my fingertips. That's happened to me a lot of times due to the black sun connection, and that's why I love doing this. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. That's why, really, I don't give a damn about a day job. I'll leave this whole system and go gaze and live homeless out in the woods somewhere. You guys think that's wrong? Do you think that that's weird? You think that that's indigent, or you want to call these words? I think living in a system, structure, matrix of enslavement in a box, cardboard box with a big hunk of metal car on four wheels, rolling around, hitting and running into each other, causing the number one leading cause of death, car accidents, sitting on a cell phone texting while drinking some alcohol, so you're all fucked up and you end up ruining someone else's life. I think that is weird. Okay? So, no. When you talk about living outside my family, they're not really hip with it yet. This is my tea, which I have different formulations over here. I'm going to put together some tea, moringa tea. Check out my website, by the way. We got sale on tea. And I wanted to make some tea and kombucha. Check out moringa hashtag moringa kombucha. I think, yeah, that was it. We're going to take these down with us. I feel the emitted power and energy on these type of things, by the way. People a lot of times say, why do you carry a skull around, Eric? I'm concerned about you and these skulls. Well, if you can't handle the skull, you probably can't handle the essence, information, energy of the afterlife. There's nothing wrong with skulls. That's like saying, that's one thing that we can all relate to, is a skull. So it's like, are you really going to say you're scared of yourself? Because this is like our internal self, physically. Even your soul, you can't really put, a marker on your spirit. But this is your internal self. You want to talk about your insides. This just shows how I'm connected. Oh my God, put the sunglasses on him. That is so cool. Yeah, and this actually lives on Earth, but it's your internal self. So if there's any way to internalize your soul, it would be this skull. It's about the afterlife, death, yes, of course. Oh no, we don't want to think about death. It's so childish how we, as humans, think of things, even as death. To me, it's so childish, man. I can't wait to die. I can't wait to go to this world. And people say, oh, you're depressed, or whatever. I got a cross up there. Hallelujah. They would say that you're depressed or you're suicidal for thinking like that. But not really, at all. You, if anything, are happier because you have understanding that when you die, you don't just die. And oh my God, yeah, you miss them right now. But I told my mom, well, hopefully, she said, hopefully I go, before you. Okay, well, that's fine too. But if I died now, I believe when we die, you speed up all life and then everybody else dies. So, in other words, when I die, I'm going to go to the point where my mother dies. If I died before my mom, then I die, go to Shambhala, and then bam. Everybody that was still alive will be dead too, because it's like bam, it's snap of the fingers back to source. So when you die is when everyone else dies, if that makes any sense. It's all an end of the game. That's the thing to understand, why it's so important is the end of the game is when you die. You. Everyone else around you is fake. Unless they're blessed enough to be in your matrix, like me and Christian. I'm in your matrix and you're in my matrix. We're looking at each other. We're looking in the mirror. We're looking at each other as one. The beauty and love divine in that is we are two real spiritual beings, gods. And we are manifesting with one another right now. In heaven, in heavenly form. Here, on earth. The saddest part is that so many millions of people have been told a different story or lie and don't believe that. They literally do not realize that they are already God and they already are in heaven, on heaven. And we could have a divine experience. But no, they want to make it like fellowshipping in a church or, I don't know, that's the only thing. Well, that's not the only thing at all. The only thing that matters is right now. And the only thing we're supposed to do is get through this life and die. When we die, that is it. It is. Did I take my... I think I did. So... one second. It's kind of a cool thing to know that and take note that we are... I'm gonna wear this. See, I'm like the spirit doctor. Ooh, yeah, banana chips. Love organic banana chips. Okay. Yes, it lives in Earth too. Absolutely. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna scare out all my followers. Abbaboobo. To the day, and the day of reckoning is to come. Ascension is before us at hand. Right now is the external divinity, the infinite source, to be free, be one, and live right now to the fullest life manageable. That we all shall return to the infinite source and become one with Sophia, the black sun, yet again, and overcome death in this life. So may all these things that cause suffering and pain, understand them, see them, realize them, refuse their wickedness, outsmart the corrupt, the wicked shark, the dog-eat-dog mentality. Overcome it with divine love. Work together with those who are also other divine gods, goddesses themselves. We must come together as one and overcome their system by creating a better paradigm. We're not here to destroy the Matrix or Demiurge or their system. I'm not here to stop the American medical establishment, okay, and destroy their big pharma or whoever. That's not what I'm doing. We're building a better system, a divine love system that works. That is the point. That is the purpose. Okay? Not the other way. So, if we could see that from a distance. It would be exciting to see what happens. Get you some banana chips, y'all. So, it officially is the 22nd, which is 8. There's your 12. This is the 33rd day, isn't it? Wow. Which is the 6th. That's kind of cool because last segment was 6. Okay. Wow, it's a 33 day. It's going to be a wild day, y'all. It's going to be chaotic. Be careful out there. Okay. So there was, people in history which some of the names, these ideas, socialism, fascism, racism, communism, democracy, class warfare, you have different things. The only thing that destroys freedom is evil, right? We were at extortion, remember? So I think it was, we were saying, under taxation, that we work but gain nothing in return, in other words. Or your mother or father, your uncle, everybody, grandfather, worked my whole life, and it's like you work your whole life to wake up and realize you've literally worked it away, and you've worked for nothing other than these buildings, these walls, these cars that only fall apart. I have a friend, a real close friend, who she has a newer Mini Cooper. It's nice and all that, but the job that she has requires her like 60 to 80 miles a day. And so in 2 years, by the time she pays it off, the car will practically be at 200,000 miles, on the engine. So she's paying to work the job and for the gas and insurance to pay off the car that only got her to work. Are you following that? That is sad. But that's a lot of our realities. I mean, literally, realistically, millions of people. If you're not in debt and you don't have that, please do not get in debt. Do not get in a student loan. You think you need money, don't do it. Be debt free. The smartest thing anyone can do today is be debt free. Be debt free. Be debt free. Don't take it out. You may have a job now. You may be making good money. Oh, I'll pay it off in 10 years or 5 years, 2 years even. It's going to be wasted 2 years of your life. And you don't need that thing that bad. Trust me. You can have anything, a swimming pool, a house. You could go get land. That would be smarter. That's a true investment. Get you $40,000 worth of equipment for seeds and heirloom seeds and whatever. You don't even need that. You just need land. You need seeds and create your own heaven. See, they could have had a system for the past 400 years where all of us had our own land, our parents had their own land, and we live in a sustainable permaculture world. If my grandpa would have done that because he's got 20 acres, and it would have been all forestry, fresh forest you could consume, gardens, and then he passed it on to his 10 kids, and then all the nephews and all that. But see, then you'd have a system where no one would be considering going to work. But think about it. We would all be free, wouldn't we? We all would have our family, and we'd all... This is why people have broken families. This is why they struggle. This is why they don't have a big family network. This is why it affects. This is why how sad the reality is. Think about it. If you've ever come from a broken family or poor, or you relate to what I'm saying, you know, some people were brought up, they were adopted, or they come from orphanages. A lot of my friends, they've had that happen. I knew my guy that I worked with, he was brought up in an orphanage, and ended up, he created a big company, you know, and it became successful. But that doesn't normally happen to very many people. But regardless, when you think about how we could have, like I said, had the money and the choice to take that money and get land and make a sustainable permaculture system that works, the only thing you work for is that produce. Where they also got us is they got us believing we need to eat meat or animal and butcher and fish, and we need to eat these things. But when you go vegan, you realize, or more plant-based, you're like, damn, I can live off of the land. I can consume fresh fruits, veggies, and nuts, superfoods, and you will thrive, believe it or not. Okay? So that's kind of the beauty in that is, so, you know, under taxation, you know, you have all these problems, restriction of behaviors and compel those, you know, using that method with money, you know, you got to be careful because they simply compel you into those things like we were talking about, the bureaucracies and the different things for public and whatever good works. Effective taxation, you know, that's what it was. It's like a function of time, you know. A common thief will steal as much as money as they can from you today as possible. Tomorrow you will be destitute. You'll have nothing left for him to take. Whether you will like run away or you find a method of protecting yourself in the future, governments are far more advanced. They allow you to keep a portion of your work for yourself enough so you will not run away or revolt or evolve, really, but instead continue working where they can take you from you again tomorrow. Taxation constantly fluctuates as governments test whether or not they can get more from their subjects. If people slow down or quit working, then taxes are too high. Culture is manipulated to keep up with and increasing taxes to teach people that nobility of government is slavery, because taxation is a function of time. Okay, it's pretty interesting to think about, but it is. It's a function of time. They can pirate from you not just huge percentages of your money today, and not just for the rest of your life, but as possibly, but all interest on your labors. Government taxation is the single most effective extortion racket that's ever existed, really. The evil genius comes with the culture. Most citizens consider it honorable to pay their masters the tax. Yes, pay the tax. Earn, trade, save. Taxation is a obfuscation in every area of your life. The easiest to see is when they take your money as you earn it. Income tax, regulations, governmental restrictions allow the extortionists to pirate labor before you ever get to put it in use. You serve them. They leave you the scraps. Whatever percentage of your liberty or labors they allow. Extortionists take a further percentage every time you trade your labor, called sales tax, use tax, gas tax, any such sundry name. Okay? You can have less than you produce because they already took huge percentages from you. And now as you go to redeem for your labor or food, shelter, better your health or comforts, they take even more. Can you believe that? And they do. So, I don't know if you've ever felt like that. There's just no real point. This is not at all, this is not all, of cases, though, because they also restrict your choices in redemption. They tell you what is legal to buy, how much, and sometimes at what price. Once earned and spent or saved, your money and property are still not safe. Property taxes and annual licensing fees confiscate a further percentage of your work, kind of thing. As a privilege for ownership of your own money, you buy a house and you bought a car, but in reality, you are just renting from the government. Try not paying your taxes and fees if you don't believe that. You will shortly be evicted. All of this is designed to keep you working tomorrow, okay, on upkeeping of your masters. Lest you retire early, your money is not safe in savings either. All government control their forms of money, such as the US dollar, and it is illegal to, trade using other currencies, in other words. Inflation is engineering by governments to erode your savings over time as they spend your, money through the government deficiencies. Inflation also ensures that as your savings are eaten away, you will be forced to keep working, okay? That you must continue to go work, and wherein they will repeat the cycle of taxation. Remember that the reason you work is to benefit yourself and those you love, yet because they are more powerful than you. Many people have managed to force you to work for their benefit. This is economic control. This is the purpose of government. Government are predator institutions, after all. Okay? That's where I talked about economic culture. Make no mistake, you are a slave and government is your master. The brilliance of your masters, as opposed to the conventional slavery, is that they allow you to believe that you earn what you work for, and that you own what you buy. It keeps you complacent and agreeable. Taxation is a function of time. They will take just as much today as keeps you laboring in their behalf tomorrow. Cultural ideas like public servant, public works, public good, public protection, Social Security, illustrate their deviousness. They are actually convinced people that having their money stolen under the threat of death is something to be desired. Remember, it is all for your own good. Constructs such as employee, job corporation, legal tender are rackets engineered by highly skilled extortionists to restrict behaviors and confiscate wealth. An unemployee is a person who performs work in trade for money. Okay? Which, there's no difference from a contractor or a non-employee or a garage sale. You perform work in exchange for something or someone else's work. You create wealth to feed your family and to benefit your life. Employees, however, are constructs of government economic behavior. What the difference between your employee and a person who only performs some work is if you gather the thousands of pages of laws, you'll get the idea of who benefits from the artificial ideas of employee and corporation. Governments play the employees, right? So they and corporations off of each other to divert anger over the loss, right? Over the loss of freedom from its proper target, the extortionist. Okay, it makes sense. That corporations are constructs invented to restrict the collection or collective behaviors of people. If one person can work on a task, it's clear that many can group together to accomplish more complex tasks. Normally, this would just be you and me agreeing to do something together for the benefit of someone else in exchange for money. Corporations are creatures of the state, as government calls them, created to abstract the average person from the simple truth of people conducting trade. If government acknowledged the mammoth restrictions they put upon you, which tell you where you can or cannot trade, right? What you can and cannot trade, however, you can and cannot trade, and at what price, and what you can trade, and what instant revolts. Corporations would allow them to create a demon to hide their own lust for power and wealth. Corporations today attract the wealth of people as polluters, greedy conglomerates, and usury employees, pretty much. Despite the truth that corporation is just, and you and I trading work, is all designed to hide the most advanced extortion racket in history. So that's pretty crazy, So the cartels and monopoly, okay? A corporate monopoly is hailed as evil because it destroys consumer choice. Government tells us that monopolies force you to purchase a given product at a given price. The truth is that there is no force, right? You have at least two alternative choices. First, don't buy the product at all. Second, start your own group to manufacture the product. Given the supposed evil of a monopoly, what solution do governments offer then? Government control, right? So that's pretty much, government is the only true monopoly. You cannot choose whether or not to buy their services. Opting out is called treason and tax evasion. The authority will come to your door with guns. Yes, with guns. They'll imprison or kill you, right? Pretty much. So they'll shoot you up, kill you up, burn your house down, who knows what. Government is the only true monopoly, okay? And their monopoly is a monopoly of violence. These are the people that we are taught to trust with authority over our goods and services. Demonizing corporations, is as like a monopoly, monopolistic, follows the pattern of tyranny and, precisely, pretty much. You fabricate an enemy and seize control. A cartel is when the forces in an economy band together to prelude anyone else from entering a market. Okay? So that's how that goes. As a monopoly, in other words, this is only possible with government. Only government has the weapons and police to stop you from selling a product or offering a service. Like if you monopolized on selling couches, then the government would come in and make sure that you and only your business sold couches, where other people are run out of the deal and did not have the opportunity to sell couches. There's a cartel, large and small, all around the world, though. They normally focus on an industry within a country, okay? Or, a couch, what have you. For example, a government agency that controls the sale of drugs and health care operates a cartel. When licensing government applications and fees operate in freedom outside of law, you will be jailed or killed. Many big businesses love cartels because government becomes their partner in keeping competition away. The laws and regulations that people are taught to agree to do not hurt big businesses. But big businesses are the only ones who can afford the cost of regulation. Some people think they are sticking it to big businesses when they enact tough laws, but they are actually pawns of culture, and they themselves are the ones who are hurt. Regulation keeps big business big and bankrupts everyone else. This is the nature of government cartel. There are no other cartels. Okay? Choice. Taxation is championed by culture or control. Okay? Remember, your government or the culture is the actual control. Okay? So if you can hear me. I hope you guys can still hear me. All right. So you have a choice, right? Because there are no other cartels, but choice is taxation as championed by culture as means of building societal needs. Okay, it can never be met by force. A person, who does not purchase a thing by choice can never gain benefits of being forced to pay for it. Welfare and the public good cannot be served by extortion. Only the owner of work can rightfully decide where the work is redeemed. All else is thievery. All claims of need and public good that are not met by free will are lies of culture. An important principle to understand is that evil wants power over you. Money is only representation of work, and as long as evil people can compel you to work on their behalf, they don't need to possess money to control you. This principle is exercised in welfare and socialist states. Okay, it's kind of what we got. Money confiscated by politicians is like largely not spent directly on themselves. However, they still enjoy a taste of power over you by taking and spending that which they did not earn. It is not money that is evil, right? But slavery. Because frequently governments will strengthen their culture grip over people by spending extorted money in targeted ways. Just as mafia dons and drug lords are known to spend on social projects for benefits of the poor, government use money to fabricate enemies and impersonate righteousness. They spend lavishly with other people's money on public works and welfare. In doing so, they pretend to be the saviors of people, while condemning the rich, socialism, or the Jews, Nazis, or freedom itself, which is terrorism, right? The terrorists. The pattern plays out in thousands of ways, and the artificial enemy are always different, but the result is always the same, right? It's always the same. Governments do not always spend money on themselves, but they always increase their power. Remember that money is only a representation of power. Its only value is in the ability to convince others to work on your behalf. So that's part of it. This is just the reality. If you can't handle the absolute true truth, being a slave, then you probably should never complain ever again on your life. But you are definitely a slave to the system, which is about to end. So that's good news. It's how they convince you to work on their behalf. So in those authorities, it's their weapon against one group to benefit another. They claim to exercise authority with no gain for themselves. This is the great lie of evil, used literally in democracies. It is debt paid by slaves to be collected by authority in loyalty and allegiance. For all those who wish to feed the poor of the world, there is only one solution. End authority. Freedom. Okay? Freedom solves the world's ills. So what we need to do is we need to teach people how to be free and live off of a sustainable permaculture. And that's what's great. This is going to work. We are going to end all slavery, folks. So continue to support this message and sustainable permaculture. When we obtain our true freedom, and we will, this system will fall. Evil always falls. So America is about to be destroyed. It's about to fall. This is the last final. We're at the end of the road. I think people are starting to see it. So freedom solves all the world's ills. The reason the earth has widespread poverty is simply because people are not free to pursue prosperity. A free people are prosperous people. Government debt, okay? Government debt is money spent by governments before they confiscate it. Such debt has little meaning. Since the evil is found in the confiscation and not timing, However, given the culture of democracies, people are taught the nobility of nations and the loyalty of being a taxpayer or a slave. Governments know that they can spend whatever they want today and obligate you to pay for it tomorrow. Okay? So the nature of national culture is such that even when the threshold of extortion is less than government spending, by the time the debt comes due, cultures convince people that it is their debt or death. In this fashion, they raise threshold extortion. People are less likely to revolt or quit working when they are taught that it is their nation, their debt, their moral obligation to pay, right? So they put it back on you. It's your debt. It's your nation. This is your country. This is your flag, okay? That's how they manipulate you through brainwashing, control, manipulation. They do this also through bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is a word used to describe the requirements of compelling with government regulations, right, in order to make sure that you are obeying the countless laws government subject to you. You must also subject yourself to the enforcement of those laws. Innocent and necessary in the eyes of culture, the truth is that bureaucracy is the patent nature of slavery. Evil seeks control over you, to destroy your liberty, to destroy your spirit. The more you must do by force, the less freedom you have, and the stronger evil is. Every culture teaches the nobility of law enforcement. They teach the law enforcement prevent murders and rape. While it is entirely possible that they do on occasion stop violence, the vast majority of the notion in the modern law enforcement is designed to only destroy liberty and extort wealth. And much of them actually support and they promote the human trafficking and they defend it. And a lot of them in the judicial system are the very human sex slave traffickers themselves. So that's why it never ends, by the way. It's entirely infested in your judicial branch. Your sheriffs, your police officers, those are the very people that are, doing the evils, this blood sacrifice, the cannibalism, things like that. So, yes, thank you, Christian. Appreciate your love and support, man, brother. Stay strong. We've got a building audience. We're reaching over 110 million, and it's people like you, Christian, that rock and roll. We just got 49,000 new BlackSunBABY subscribers and followers, so check out thekingmoringa.com. You rock, guys. I never thought I'd be reaching hundreds of millions of people, so way cool, because this is what's going to take down the system entirely. And it's cool because it's part of the great reset of the Black Sun, who's going to destroy the system. So you better soak it up and enjoy it now while you're still a slave, because it's going to be all taken down here shortly. So I don't know. I mean, I used to say, I love this country and all this and that, but the reality is, it doesn't matter. You can't love a piece of land, okay? A piece of land is a piece of land. It's a flag, it's a flag, okay? Love Mother Earth and all within it. We are all one, divine one with the black sun. So all this is going to be destroyed because we weren't supposed to build all this on her. We weren't. So like I said, stop harming my animals. Stop harming my children. Stop harming my people and my land. Mother Earth. Okay? It's just not going to go down anymore. So finally, we're seeing a lot of the royal elites being zeroed out. We see more job losses and the corporations being removed, destroyed. It's kind of like the Titanic going down. And if you remember the violin players, they're still playing the violin as the whole ship's going down. Damage control being done below. And then the smart people who wanted to, continue their life, they jumped on a boat or a raft to get back to the island, right? But the smartest people who actually started that problem, who actually knew in advance that the Titanic was going to crash into an iceberg because it was all a ploy set up and designed, just like this American fall of this nation. It was designed, everything, all of it, all the distractions, all the football games, the World Series, the NFL Super Bowl, every single thing, down to Madonna and their music and all this stuff. It was all designed, part of the Titanic. It's the same thing. While one family was on the outside who actually caused the problem, the Rothschilds, none of their family and even their people, which it's mainly family, they stay with the family and the Rockefellers or whoever it was, they didn't get on the Titanic. Now, what did that cause? That allowed their family and their businesses to become stronger and take over this nation. While they were trying to be friends with the other family and family businesses, those other family businesses are now gone, destroyed. And then who picks up the pieces and ends up with Coca-Cola or some sort of other family factory? The Rothschilds. And so they just took over that business and they took over this whole country, right? It's just kind of funny, but that's how things work. It's that simple. And oh, David, actually, I am going to the mountains. Actually, we have land in Central America. We're trying to get people down in Central America, so we are fleeing, and we're bringing people with us. So that's kind of exciting. If anyone who's watching, we've got the Belize video uploading now, and we have a place in Central America where you can live off the land, live like a king and queen, and you can thrive. You can get out of this slave system and be free. So that's one really cool thing that we're offering. You're going to want it. When they close the floodgates, people won't be able to get out of here. So it's essential to try to get out now while you can. Save yourself now while you can. Get out of here. And, that's pretty much the goal. So I've renounced my citizenship as American. I am not an American. I'm a human being. I am not a Christian or belief system. There's no words, titles, labels you can put on me. No organization, building, box that you can put me in, divide me. There's no cult or culture, religious belief system, propaganda. There's no politic party you can put on me, sexual orientation. I am a mere human man, divine God beyond, BlackSunBABY, the Kazwa EGP, Abbaboobo. Okay? Not going to be able to stop me. Not going to be able to stop my words. And we're coming here hard. We're hitting home, hitting hard to help the slaves become free, setting my people free. I intend to bring forth heaven, peace and serenity onto earth. And that's how it's going to be. So just know this, folks. I know I get thrown with a lot of hate and naysayers. Just know I'm telling you from the sincerity of my heart that I love you. I do. I love you. And I want to support that message. And all people will be free again. No matter what. they are not going to win. So just remember, the tricksters, we're allowing the tricksters to trick themselves. They can't take over. They cannot win. We are all returning back to our source, one way, shape, or form, and another. So, I don't know who those people are talking about couches down here, if they're on drugs, bunch of druggy weirdos posted stuff. But we're not going to get sidetracked and we're not going to get distracted, because this message has to get on YouTube and it's going to go viral and it's going to go worldwide. The fact that it's out there already with divine purpose and my heart, I know that this is going to make it. Okay? So we were at the bureaucracy on every visit to motor vehicle bureaucracy, every tax form, every time you're pulled over, every time you have ordinance and you comply with, with the home or job and law enforcement action. The culture of law enforcement is like one to be, in protection. Their protection exists only to the extent necessary to convince you to submit to everything else they demand of you. Okay? Okay, everything of you, demand of you. The law teaches that you must comply with reams of bureaucracy and enforcement in order to protect other people from you. You are taught that you must comply with extensive enforcement because you cannot be trusted to live peacefully. While culture teaches that the nature of criminality is murder, rape, and theft, almost none of the enforcement of law has anything to do with such things. The reason is obvious. You are not evil, and you do not do such heinous things. There is very little reason to believe such things, to believe that those around you are any less moral than you, right? And yet somehow, to support that basic definition of crime, millions of employed as agents of law, they spend their time making sure you comply with the facets and iotas of every regulation they can devise. The amount of extortion necessary to support vast bureaucracies is almost unfathomable, right? The amount of life culled from supposedly free peoples in obeying law is shocking. Yet evil has what it wants: enormous control, dramatically diminished liberty, and huge sums of your money. Building codes, environmental regulations, local planning, and on and on. Each one justifiable in modern culture. Each one has armies to support them. Each one with just one thing in common: their enforcement by law destroys freedom. If any of these goals were noble in their own right, they would not need force to accomplish them. Their true result is to raise cost through increased property tax, impact fees, licensing fees, business fees, employment taxes, okay, etc. Even government programs designed to cultivate seemingly noble goals, such as ownership societies, are inherently evil. They even are designed to stabilize populations, right? What is the means? What that means is they get more people to commit to a location and a cost on long-term financing so that it's harder to escape taxation, okay? if governments actually wanted families to own their own homes, they would simply stop charging them rent every year. See that? They don't want you to have or own your own home. Because it's price controls. Okay? Government sometimes implements price control. They dictate under force of law what price you must sell your work at. They dictate under threat of imprisonment or death how much you will produce your labor for. In government regulation cartels like healthcare, governments pretend to reduce cost, either directly through price mandate or, indirectly by buying services on behalf of citizens. Using either method, they insert the tentacles of control under the guise of protecting the poor from greedy corporations and capitalists, right? By forcing people to work at artificial wages, they destroy the competition of a free market. When freedom is destroyed, only the powerful can survive, right? Cartels are thusly forged with governments. Powerful businesses watch their weaker competition fall to bankruptcy. They just fall to bankruptcy. They fail to bankruptcy. Government makes sure it is prohibitively expensive to enter the market with fees and licensing requirements. Right? Businesses can enjoy government mandate prices with no competition. Governments can enjoy control of prices and therefore guaranteed taxes. The extent of price control are not to keep prices down, but to keep them up, right? Big businesses love government regulations. That's right. That's right. That's right. It's a deep one. Let that sink in. Okay? They intend to keep the prices up and up, not down. Sad. So, regulations ensure that well-established and extreme, well-financed, compete people seeking to trade their skills, products, expertise, things like that, are burdened to impossible demands of the government, pretty much. Who can do this? I've been in business 11 years. It's almost impossible, trust me. It is to make actual ends meet as a small business. They've made it virtually impossible today. That's how I know we're at the end of the road. So you have to be a slave to their corporation or LLC. Thusly, big business is an extension of compulsion of the government. Anti-business regulations that people are taught to support are actually good for big businesses. Instead of hindering them, such regulations destroys your liberty instead. So that takes me to protectionism. I talked about it. I don't know if you guys remember environmentalism, right? This is protectionism. It's what teaches that those within one nation or border should exclude others from trade until force of law. This takes place as restrictions on buying and selling products and services as well as employing people. Why should the citizens of one nation be less entitled to wages or a job than the next? Protectionism is that simple. There are those who outside your border, inferior human beings, that they should believe they should keep or should be kept from working by force. Are those outside the border, any different? What morality exists in the teaching of that one group of people? that it's more valuable than another because where they are born or where they live. Freedom's about the value of people, so it shouldn't matter what state you came from. The disparity between personal profits of people in different lands is large. In one area, a family may make hundreds of times less than another area. All people have the same value. Why is force employed to stop the poor from earning money at any job they are willing to perform? Right? Makes sense? If the poor want to sell something to a powerful nation, and the people of that nation want to purchase it because it is sold at a lower cost, why should a government wish to hamper the benefits of both people? Think about it. Government uses force to stop items from being sold within their borders at lower cost than what those in their own nations will produce. We are taught that their reason for destroying the liberty of people is that they are protecting the industries of their land. It's not hard to see the truth is in evil when governments extract large percentages of money from trade. The higher the cost of the product, the higher the extracted tax. Protection, as always, is slavery. Which takes me to education. Oh, education. What is it? What is education? Education. Government control education for the purpose of culturing employees. The objective of state education is the stabilization of the tax base, right? Schooling, education, and knowledge are not the same thing. One is not a natural result of the other. People grow in knowledge when they learn truths. Teaching and schooling are meaningless when students do not seek wisdom. They are likewise meaningless when that which is being taught is not wisdom. In order to learn, people must thirst for knowledge. Force and confusion or compulsion cannot accomplish this, right? Law does not pretend to teach people their worth or abilities of achievement. Law desires only that which you learn in obedience. Not only does law provide a way for students to learn their merits of social and economic obedience to authority, it enforces a near perfect monopolization against all the teachers. Private schools and parents themselves are nearly shut out from teaching children the one lesson they need, an understanding of their own value and potential. When people understand that their minds are truly capable of anything, that they are able to learn and grow according to their own dreams, then you see they tend to make poor citizens. They question culture and oppressive authority. They reject taxation. They are stronger, more peaceful, more prosperous, and more independent. All to this is wonderful for humanity, and it destroys evil. So we can destroy this system when we look at these things that are freedom. Quit your job. Quit paying your debt. Stop supporting the system. When you feed the monster, you're going to make it grow. When you stop attending, it will kill it. So this is revealing the truth. To see the truth in an idea, it is a good idea to flip it upside down. Which is why I always say, is how you know the news is telling the truth? Look at the opposite, and often you'll see the truth. Complete opposite. So if you go to the darkness, you'll find the truth. But if what you're told, the 9/11 Commission story, is the lie. So reverse it. Stuff like that. So that's, if you flip it upside down, socialism teaches that those who work must not only work for themselves, but for everyone else as well. As with all authority, there is no choice, no opting out. Socialism reveals forced labor. Price controls teach that people deserve to receive products and service at a proper price. Flipped upside down, price controls teach that you must work to create products at the price government says you must work for. Price controls reveal forced labor, right? Okay. Welfare teaches that people deserve to receive the basic necessities of life without needing to work for them. Flipped upside down, welfare teaches that those unwilling to labor for their own benefit can extract from it. Welfare reveals forced labor. Bureaucracy teaches that people should be able to expect others to behave according to strict rules to benefit everyone. Flipped upside down, bureaucracy teaches that to keep bureaucratic employees in the money, everyone must jump through hoops and pay fees and fines. Bureaucracy reveals forced labor. Taxation teaches that people deserve to receive roads, protection, schools, and all other manners of services, even if they cannot afford them. Right? Flipped upside down, taxation teaches that people have the right to force their neighbor into paying for services, or their neighbors to pay for services without the hassle of being asked for permission. Taxation reveals forced labor. All economic control is slavery. All economic control is slavery. All economic control is slavery, which is not freedom until you die. So it is death. Abbaboobo, Abbaboobo. BlackSunBABY. I'm here to help bring forth freedom, peace, divinity, and love divine onto earth. So, it's not about leaving. There is no country to leave. This is my land. These are my rivers. These are our oceans, my skies. These are my animals. Stop harming them. Okay? Stop causing problems. That's where we're at. Because the curses, the damnations, and plagues that will fall forth onto your life, it'll be hectic. It's going to be painful, and the same suffering that is caused from this system and the people and the forerunners and the creators and establishers of this operation, this system, will also inherit the same sort of destruction, chaos, madness, suffering, pain, harm, death, warmongering, fear that they've put on others is all now coming out, and you are the ones who are going to be destroyed. Those ones who have caused all this pain and suffering and sickness. This is why people are in the hospital. This is why the people are sick. This is why this whole system does not work. Okay? So that is why we are doing this as our work as activism to people who need to hear this. This message is going to get out to everybody. So share this, put it on your wall, hit like. It's a very simple message, but it's not heard enough. So by sharing it, I've shared it for you. You can take ownership of these words. These are your words. Use them. Copy them. My words are your words. So with that said, I love you. Don't forget to watch part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5, 6, and this is 7. Thank you so much for watching. Go on the green light, the emerald golden green light of infinite freedom. End of all evil. It's just right around the corner. America and all this stuff, it's going to crash. It's destroyed. We're going to destroy it all. It's done. We are done with this evil, and we are. I'm not a kind of guy that likes to see, people destroyed and all this, but the destruction of them and their wickedness, it will be sweet. It shall be. When America falls and it crumbles, as you call it, America, the country, these people, okay? America has never been great. We killed 100 million Native Americans, took their land and Mexicans' lands, okay? And there's nothing good about any of this. There's nothing. Even the indigenous people knew you cannot claim a piece of land as your own. That's impossible, okay? Yes, Kali Ma, Kali Dirge, Nayamo Nama, Abbaboobo, 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 Namasta, Dua, Dua, Dua. We are going to end all of this once and for all. We got the black sun right here, my keychain. BlackSunBABY, Abbaboobo. As is below, as is above. It becomes above. And that's what I'm about too. We're making all this come into existence. I'm going to grab me a watermelon, and I'm going to let this play out until it dies. Because I'm at 1%, baby. You know I love you. And, I better say the one and only